Okay. So, hi guys. I decided to do child maltreatment um for my discussion. Um I do want to go over something. I do have a part that's kind of a little graphic. Um, and if that's just not what you guys want, I will mention it and you guys can skip ahead a little bit to get over it. This is a little bit of a touchy subject. And I get that, so that's why I wanted to pause, let you guys know. If this isn't for you, that's okay too. All right, so let's get into it. Um, so the definition of child maltreatment. Now, I really like this quote from the article, and it basically reads the World Health Organization defines child maltreatment as all forms of physical and emotional ill treatment, sexual abuse, neglect, and exploitation that results in actual or potential harm to the child's health, development, or dignity. There are four main types of abuse: neglect, physical abuse, psychological abuse, and sexual abuse. Abuse is defined as an act of commission, and neglect is defined as an act of omission in the care of leading to potential or actual harm. I really like this quote. I think it goes over child maltreatment to a T. I will get into more of definitions in the next slide. Um, so definitions continued. So neglect may include inadequate health care, education, supervision, protection from hazards in the environment, and unmet basic needs such as clothing and food. Neglect is the most common out of child maltreatment. Next is physical abuse. May include beating, burning, and biting. The threshold of defining corporal punishment as abuse is unclear. So this can include like spankings, timeouts, just anything you use to punish your child for being bad. There's just very gray lines in some of that. Psychological abuse includes verbal abuse, humiliation, and acts that scare or terrorize a child, which may result in further psychological illness of the child. All right, and here we go. We're getting into the one where I said that you could skip over it a little bit if this isn't just what you need to hear today. So, sexual abuse is defined as the involvement of dependent, developmentally immature children and adolescents in sexual activities which they do not fully comprehend, to which they are unable to give consent, or that violate the social taboos of family roles. Um, to go on a little bit and get more into the definition, some cases of sexual abuse do not need to include oral, anal, or vaginal penetration and may include exposure to sexual explicit materials, oral to genitalia, contact genitalia to genitalia, contact genitalia to anal contact, and genitalia fondling. All right, we got over the big hump. So we'll continue on. That should be it, at least for like the more in-depth. So to statistics, percentage of substantiated maltreatment, yeah, of children ages 0 to 17 by maltreatment type. This was done in 2021. As you can see, neglect makes up about more than 70% of those cases that have been investigated. Physical abuse coming in next, sexual abuse, other abuse, psychological abuse, medical neglect, and then sex trafficking being the last. And we keep going. So statistics continue. Neglect is by far the most common form of maltreatment. 3/4 of all maltreated children are found to have been neglected. 16% of maltreated children were found to have been physically abused, 10% were sexually abused, and 6% were psychologically abused. Differences by age are particularly notable for sexual abuse, increasing from 1% of those ages 0 to 3 to 23 for children ages 12 to 15 and 24% for ages 16 to 17. And then most children are abused by family members, or people that are known to the family. It is never, I don't want to say it's never, but it's very rarely can be stranger. Most likely the child knows the adult that is abusing them. So some warning signs. So delayed growth. This could be both physically and mentally. Unusual social interactions. This means that they're not really connecting to their children, they're acting out a little bit, or they're pulling in and not interacting at all. They turn fearful, and then they might develop post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, and that can lead to flashbacks, hyperactivity, hypervigilance, displaced anger, insomnia, nightmares, sudden terror, and anxiety. So reporting and next steps. So first of all, we want to try to prevent it from happening. So your primary prevention is a social network. That means teachers, parents, family members, family friends, people that children feel safe enough to go to. And then secondary prevention, which is just recognizing the warning signs, seeing stuff that doesn't seem right, but also speaking out about it. And then we'll go into reporting. So we have substantiated maltreatment reports, and those are just cases that have been reported, investigated, and verified by officials. And then reported maltreatment, that's just basically a referral, means simply it's just been reported, but it hasn't been investigated. This could honestly be because the child does not want to face its abuser, or that the child doesn't believe that anyone will really take their side of the story, or that it can't really be proven. There's no physical proof. So psychological abuse is really hard to prove. And so that's why I think sometimes it's not as reported or investigated as others. Then we kind of go into mandated reporters. So they're mandated by the law. Those are public and private officials like health care providers, law enforcement, and school employees. And then, so if you've done the report, they've investigated it, the next step is to put the child, remove the child and put the child in foster care. That is basically a court mandated service that watches the child and provides a safe space. Sorry. And the main goal is to give back the child to their parents, as long as it becomes a safe situation, in situations where the parents cannot provide a safe place or are unwilling to work towards providing a safe place, then it goes to long-term foster care and then hopefully adoption. Sometimes they're put in with um, familial, sorry, I'm struggling with words today. Um, familiar, we're gonna skip that word, care, which has just made, that other family members have stepped up to, provide care and take in the child. So consequences, many who are abused in their youth develop mental health issues, self-esteem issues, and social issues. They can have a hard time keeping jobs. They also have problems making connections or holding relationships with others. Um, Honestly, it's on everyone to be able to recognize, report, and provide safe place for children. If you see something, say something, even if later it is investigated and found to be false, then at least you have a clear mind and the child isn't being neglected or abused. And I think that's about it. Here are my references. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great day.